Now think, if a microwave can vibrate molecules, water molecules at 2.4 gigs, and cook them from the inside out, what do you think, to a lesser degree, but still, what do you think your 2.4 gig wireless setup is doing to you in the path between the antenna and the receiving computer? Just something to think
no doubt.
about,
and just for reference, everybody, that was member Mr. Clean who just brought that point up. Just for people that may listen to this downstream so they can distinguish who the voice is.
Yeah, you definitely have a... Go ahead, Calvin.
Anywhere where they have microwave relay stations, they'll have signs out in front of them. They'll have the site fenced in. They'll have signs out not to stand in front of it when they transmit. Because if you're up within so many feet of where they transmit, it will shatter all the organs in your body. After they get going with it, after it gets way out, actually, 300 or 400 feet, you'd be okay, but you don't want to be up close to it. That they had signed when I worked at Vandenberg that we were using
they used to do that on Navy
all over the place and warning you about that. It can be very dangerous. I think at Tesla's time, I don't think they had much medical evidence at the time of what the waves could do to us. A few years ago, there were some lawsuits by some farmers. I don't remember what part of the country it is. They had high voltage power lines running across their property, and they had their cattle grazing in fields under there. And they claimed that the voltage from the power lines were affecting the health of the cattle. I don't think they won their case in court. That was the first one. So there's probably something to that.
I'm going to totally agree with you, Calvin. I don't know if you finished there, mate, because you're dropping off really bad. I think if anybody talks here, we got to let up on the button and then take a breather. It's kind of that way. Technology isn't that good for us to keep streaming. Vancouver, where BC Hydro, British Columbia Hydro, was putting up major towers to go run into California through Delta and White Rock down to Washington State and stuff. Ended up that was living within 1,000 yards of these towers. They were being bought up, and so what did the company did? They turn around. They put up condos. BC Hydro built condos and then sold them for 10 times the money that was sitting there. So it's definitely a known fact that the power lines do create an electrical current that is dangerous to everything that's around them, except for small plant life, because typically that's all that is able to live there, is small plant life.
Stormy. Well, let me ask, since it's quiet, I'll just mic up here so we don't have a big old gap and a big recording. Both August and Adamite, I would like to ask both of you something. Do you think that because I hear the case you're making for nature, and I get that, but do you think that there is a possibility that Wi-Fi may be having a negative effect on our living environments, in whether it be schools, home, or frequency being broadcast 24 hours a day? Do you feel that it could be having a negative effect on us? August, you go first.
As far as being able to measure anything, I would have to safely conclude the fact that anything that is man-made and try to, put it in a box and have an output range and so forth, it's going to be damaging. But over a larger span of area, it dissipates. I don't think it's as intensified as it would be if you're within 500 yards, 100 yards, as regards if you were 2 miles away. So it would be the practical application of that device. In lieu of the research studies that they have so far, it shows that there is more negatives than there are positives to Wi-Fi technology. But there's a price to be paid for evolution and everything. So the next leap is we have to go on a witch hunt and a Joan of Arc, a burning of people that promote Wi-Fi technology. But I think we can make a little bit better limitations. I work with Nokia, cell phone company, and they're producing safer phones and working toward that technology. So it's just a matter of what they release, But definitely, it does have a negative effect on there. I would say that Wi-Fi at the present time, but yes, it does have a negative effect.
Hi, this is Mr. Clean. Points. Besides the Wi-Fi, which everyone associates, and the cell phones that we've talked about, I'd also like to bring up the idea of satellite TV. Now, I'm referring to the all dish, relatively current technology and its competitors. And if you start going back and looking as when there was first starting to be a problem with bees, not the full die-offs, but just people started noticing, is when a lot of technology started becoming popular. The satellite dishes for home uses started exploding. Cell phone use really started exploding. They started bringing out a lot more cell towers, and the usage started going up dramatically. Then we started noticing effects on other creatures, potentially bees, as a conspiracy theory. Just a few ideas.
Yeah, yep. I was looking at that a little earlier, and I forgot all about that. And that has been talked about. That's awesome. The bees. Where'd they go? What drove them out? Adamite, you wanted to make a point.
Yeah, he makes a totally prominent expression there by saying about the bees and stuff like that. It is a problem. We're dealing with frequencies, but then again, we also have to look at, when we look at nature, we also have to look at our outer influence of what we're doing to the planet, as well as what the sun is doing to us. So I'm not going to totally bite on that one. I'm a firm believer that the tech has increased our awareness and our brain power and our brain creativity a millionfold. There's no doubt about that. Back in the days, like I said earlier, we were worried about when computers actually reached the hertz that our brain waves operate in, and that it would start to control us. And here we are 20 years later, and we're looking at it and going, well, it's not controlling us, it's actually helping us. And through this creational reality that I live, or another person lives, I use this as a tool for myself. I always have my computer on 24/7. That's never changed since Commodore 64s. It just was a reality. So, anyways, guys, I think we're good for a break at the moment, and let's have one. We'll take 5 and enjoy ourselves. 3, 2, and welcome back to the chat tonight. We're talking about Wi-Fi, and whether or not electronics are going to affect a human being in their daily lives. And I believe, Rolling Stone, you got something to say to us?
Well, basically, I just wanted to know if the Wi-Fi is so bad, why everything that you buy now is Wi-Fi. I mean, it can't be that bad, or they wouldn't be selling it to us, right?
I'll take a crack at that and answer that. The reason everything's going wireless is because it's cheaper. They can mass produce it, and they don't have to have transmission lines running everywhere. So it's here to stay, and I predict within 10 more years, I doubt that there will be any landline telephones left, and probably all our television will be wireless of some sort. It won't even be cable. So that those lines will all go away, and that's the trend it's going to now, and there'll be more and more of it. And actually, the FCC makes money off all the frequencies they sell for these people to transmit over. Everything transmits on a frequency. Nothing for free out there. So the FCC sells off the frequencies, and they make money. Who knows what they do with the money? We don't know. But that's kind of the way it's going. So the landline wired days are over, folks.